So, hello and welcome to this video. In this video, we are going to learn about temperature coefficient and Kirchhoff's law. Very simple topic, but very important. Let us continue. So, in last class, what we had seen is mean free path, Ohm's law, calculation of resistance, mobility, and temperature dependence of the resistance. And we will solve some questions on temperature dependence of the resistance. So, let us continue. So, let us solve first question. The question is a copper has a resistance of 10 ohm at 10 degrees Celsius. So, what will be the resistance at 50 degrees Celsius? And alpha is given, right? So in last class we had seen that, or in last video what we had seen is resistance varies with temperature is R will be equals to R naught into 1 plus alpha delta T, where R naught is temperature for the given resistance for the given temperature, alpha is thermal coefficient of resistance, and delta T is change in temperature, right? So here now R naught is how much? 10 ohm. 1 plus alpha is how much? 2 into 10 to the power minus 3 into delta t. So from 10 degree to 50 degree, that will be how much? 40 degree, right? So this is our value. So we can write it as 10 into 1 plus 10 into 1 plus, now this value will be equals to how much? So this will be equals to 2 into 10 to the power minus 3 plus 4, into 40. So it will be how much? 8 into 10 to the power minus 2, right? So we have 10 into 1 plus this value will be equals to how much? 8 into 10 power minus 2. So that will be 0.08, right? So from here we have 10 into 1 plus 0.08. So can I say that it is equals to 1.08, right? If you multiply with 10, so this will be equals to how much? 10.8. So 10.8 ohm. That will be our answer. Simple, easy, right? So we can solve, just we have to put the values in the formula and we can find R, that will be equals to how much? 10.8 ohm, right? Next, if suppose at temperature T1 resistance given is R1 and temperature T2 resistance given is R2, then how we can find alpha? Alpha is not given. So in this case, we will assume that let at T equal to 0, T is what? T is temperature. So at temperature equals to 0 degrees Celsius, we will say that resistance was equals to R naught. So this is our one reference we can say. Now, when temperature is T1, so change is how much? T1. So we can say that R1 will be equals to R naught into 1 plus alpha T1. Similarly, R2 will be equals to R naught into 1 plus alpha T2, right? Now we can take the ratio, so R naught gets cancelled and then we can rearrange it and we have alpha that is equals to R1, R2 minus R1, difference of resistance divided by R1 T2 minus R2 T1. Simple. So in this case now, see how you can remember this formula is, see alpha is positive value, so difference should be positive only. So R2 is bigger than R1, so R2 minus R1. Now in denominator, temperature T2 is higher and resistance R1 was lower, but temperature difference is more because alpha was less. So we can write R1 T2 minus R2 T1. Simple. So let us solve one question. Question is the temperature coefficient of resistance of a wire is 0.00125 per degree Celsius. The temperature at temperature 300 Kelvin, its resistance is 1 ohm. So resistance of the wire will be 2 ohm at what temperature? Okay. So what we have to do in this case? So we have R1 that is equals to how much? R1 is equals to 1 ohm. R2 that is equals to 2 ohm. R1 for R1 temperature T1 is how much? That is 300 Kelvin. So in degree Celsius we have to put, so that will be equals to how much? 27 degrees Celsius. In thermal physics, when we put the value of temperature, we put in Kelvin, but here we have to put in degree Celsius, right? And T2 we have to find, alpha is given, that is equals to 0.00125 per degree Celsius. Celsius is there. So it will be how much? 1.25 into 10 to the power minus 3 per degree Celsius, right? So now we have formula of alpha. So alpha, that is equals to R2 minus R1 divided by R1 T2 minus R2 T1, right? So put the values. So alpha is how much? 1.25 into 10 to the power minus 3, that is equals to R2 is 2 minus 1 divided by R1 is 1 only. So 1 into T2, that is T2. T2 here is temperature, minus 2 into T1 is how much? 27 degrees Celsius. So just we can simplify here and you will get T2, that will be equals to how much? 854 degrees Celsius. In Kelvin, if we convert, so plus 273, so it will be how much? 1127 Kelvin. So answer will be what? B. Simple, easy. So just we have to put the values, and which we have to use this formula alpha. T1, T2 we can find, T1 is already given, right? Now, next is, again let us solve one more question. So question is, till now or in our syllabus mostly alpha is constant, but if they say alpha is variable, then what we have to do? How we can solve those kind of questions? So if alpha is variable, then what we are left with? We have R, that is equals to R naught into 1 plus alpha delta t, right? So suppose alpha is variable, so what we have to do, this delta t we have to take a small value, so we can write it as R naught into 1 plus alpha dt, right? And then what we can do is we can do the integration. These are constant only, so we have to do the integration from initial temperature to temperature final, right? So question let us see one. So for a material, alpha varies with temperature as alpha is equals to AT square plus BT cube. So what will be its temperature, resistance at T degrees Celsius, if at 0 degree its resistance is R naught, right? So we have the formula, we will use that. So formula is, we have R final, that is equals to R initial into 1 plus alpha dt, right? From where to where? From T1 to T2. Now do the integration, put the values. So it will be equals to, we can say that R final, that is equals to R naught into 1 plus integration from temperature T1 to T2. Alpha is now how much? A T square plus B T cube into dt. So if you do the integration, it will be how much? R naught into 1 plus, now integration of A T square, can I write it as A T cube by 3 plus B T4 by 4. Yes or no? And T1 was how much? T1 was 0 and T2 is T. So just when you put the value of T1 in 0, so we can simplify, right? This is our answer. Clear to everyone? So R final, that is equals to R naught into 1 plus, right? Now, next is color coding of resistance. It's very simple. Let us see. So, when you go to laboratory and you want to do the experiments, in that case, the resistance will be like this. And it is not written like this is how much ohm in numbers. They are not right, like 10 ohm, 15 ohm. They don't write in numbers. There will be some colors on that, some patterns. So, 3 circles which are closure and 1 circle on other side of the resistor, like this. Or you can reverse, then this yellow part will be here and these 3 will be closure. So the now colors which are closure, that we consider. So let us say this was, first one is A, second one is B, third one is C. So just simple thing we have to remember, that is resistance is AB, first 2 bends, and we will start from inside. So AB into 10 to the power C. Just very simple formula we have to use. Suppose this is the resistance. Now these are 3 bends A, B, C. From inside we have to move, and there is one bend on the other side, alone bend. So this indicates the how much deviation or error. So here first 2 bends, that indicates the first 2 significant figures of the resistance in ohm, AB. And third band indicates the decimal multiplier, means 10 to the power C, right? And fourth band stands for tolerance or possible variation in percentage about the indicated values. So we can write, just remember R, that is equals to AB. First one we will call as A, second one as B, third is C. So AB into 10 to the power C. Simple. Plus minus fourth one, whatever is there, that we will add. Okay. So let us see more about it. How to remember? There are a lot of numbers, sir. So in this case, very simple trick is, first number B, black, brown, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, violet, grey, white, till this point. Then gold, silver, no color. Price is decreasing. Gold and silver, then no color. So if the last color is gold, that means we will say that tolerance or error is 5%. If it is silver, cheaper material, so tolerance will be more, or error will be more, so 10%. If there is no color, that means that is even more cheaper, 20%. Like this we can remember. So gold to no color, if we move, then error will increase, right? And now black is, we write number as 0, brown is 1, red is 2, orange is 3, yellow is 4, green is 5, blue is 6, violet is 7, grey is 8, white is 9. So how we can remember these things? It's very uh, random, right? So what we can do is, we can take first letters of all these. So if we take first will black, then is brown, then is red, orange, yellow, then green, blue, violet, gray, white. So we can remember as we move from, see now here one more thing is, there are 3 B. So first one is black, second B is brown, and this third B is blue. So black, brown, blue. This we have to remember. And there are 2 G. So which G, which one? So last one is gray, and this one is green. Green, and this is gray. Okay. So now we can remember BB Roy. Some person, BB Roy, from Great Britain, has a very good wife, which is not always true. So we can remember like this: BB Roy from Great Britain has very good wife. So we can remember. Now B, black, we can say 0, brown 1, red 2, orange 3, yellow 4, green 5, then this one is blue 6, violet 7, gray 8, white 9. Like this we can remember. Simple, easy. So now see, let us take one example. For this resistance, if I want to write value of R, so first one is red, so we have A, that is equals to red. Red means what? 2. Second one is now blue. Blue means what? 6. So 2. B is how much? 6. And C is what? Gray. Gray means how much? 8. So 8. So we can write resistance, that is equals to AB. So 26 into 10 to the power C. 8 plus minus, last one is gold. So it plus minus 5%. This is what the answer we have. Right? Simple, easy, very easy questions they ask from this. So trick is, we can remember BB Roy from Great Britain has a very good wife. Simple. So if you write once or twice, it will be very simple to remember. In a laboratory, they will ask that they will give you resistors, and they will ask you find the value of resistance. How much is the resistance of this resistor? We can use this. Okay. So now let us move forward. Let us see simple circuit theory. So what are circuits? And we can say simple circuit is when there is some resistance and some battery is connected and current is flowing in the circuit. That is simple circuit, right? So when we say current conducting wire or connecting wires, we consider ideal case. So there is no potential drop in the connecting wires, because these wires are ideal and their resistance we consider approximately 0, right? Now we can take any one point as having potential 0 for the reference point. Any point you can choose, here, 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 anywhere you can choose. So here if I put 0 volt, so if we cross the battery, so potential drop will be 10 volt. It is increasing from lower to higher, so here it will be 10 volt. Suppose if I consider this point as 0 volt, then we are moving in this direction, so potential should decrease by 10 volt. So this point will be how much? Minus 10 volt. Like this we can write. Now when we move from this point to this point in this direction, so it is conducting wire, so there will be no potential drop. 10 from here to here, again it will be same. And when we cross the resistor and battery, then only there will be change in potential. Okay, so there will not be any change in current when current passes through the battery. For battery, current will be same, potential only will change. So let us solve a question, very simple question we have to solve. The question is find the, what to change it, okay. So question is find the current in each branch of the circuit. So we have the branch of circuit is given and we have to find current flowing in all the branches. So what I will do is I will consider all these points having zero potential connecting wire, so zero. Now if I cross the battery, so if it was 0, 4 volt, so this will become how much, 4 volt. If I cross this battery, so 0 volt to 10 volt, so this will be 10 volt. Again 0 to 2 volt, so it will be how much, minus 2 volt, right? Now if I want to write I1, I2 and I3, so what I can do is just move in the circuit. So when we move from here to here, so potential drop is how much, 4, 10. So this potential drop will be how much, 6 volt. And we know that for Ohm's law, from Ohm's law, we know that I will be equals to what, V upon R. So delta V is 6 by 2. That will be how much, 3. So I2 will be how much, 3. Now direction in this case we have considered upward, but see, it is higher potential 10 volt and 4 volt is lower potential. So current will flow in opposite direction. So we will say I2 will be equals to minus 3 ampere. Similarly, for I3, can I say that potential drop is how much, 10 to minus 2, that is 12 volt, right? Divided by 2. So that will be how much, 6 ohm. Now direction of current will be from higher potential towards lower potential. So in this direction only. So it will be how much, 6 ampere, sorry, 6 ampere. Now in case of I1, now how much will be the I1? Value of I1 will be, now see here, current 3 ohm is flowing in this direction, 6 ohm is flowing in, sorry, 6 ampere is flowing in this direction. So here current will be how much? So that will be equals to 6 plus 3, that is 9 ampere. So we can write, simple, yes or no. So next question. Next question is we have to find the current in each branch of the circuit. Again, one simple question we have to solve. So here again what we can do is we will take the reference point. So let us say this point is our reference point. So it has 0 volt. So here also 0 volt, here also 0 volt, here also 0 volt connecting wire, right? Now if we cross this resistance, so we don't know how much potential drop will be there here also. But in this line I4, I can say that if it was 0, so here potential drop will be how much, 4 volt, higher to lower, battery is in upward direction, right? Now 4 volt. So now we can move. So I2, I1 will be how much? Can I say I1 will be equals to 4 volt, 0 volt. So 4 divided by 2. So that is equals to 2 ampere, right? Now I2 will be how much? I2, so 0 volt, and this is how much? 4 volt. So when we cross the battery, so here it will be how much? 4 volt. Now across resistor, both points are having the same potential. So can I say I2 will be equals to delta V is 0 by 2. So that will be how much? 0 ampere, right? Now third, here it is 4 volts. When we cross the batteries, this will be how much? 2 volt. And across resistor, potential drop is how much? 2 volt. So we can say that I3, that will be equals to 2 volt divided by 2. So that will be equals to how much? 1 ampere. Yes or no? Now at this point, if you consider, so I1 2 ampere, 0, and this is 1 ampere. So total current flowing from this wire is how much? 2 plus 1 is 3. So we can write I4, that will be equals to 4, sorry, 2 plus 1, 3, 3 ampere, right? Simple, easy. So in this case, we can just put the values of voltage at different points, and then we can write the value of current. Now, let us move towards Kirchhoff's law. So Kirchhoff's law is, suppose now in this case we want to write or find the current through each wire. So if we consider this point as 0 volt, so this is also 0 volt, this is also 0 volt. But if we move, there is resistance and then battery, so we cannot write potential of this point. So let us say it is x volt. But how we can solve? So here we are unable to find the value of x using the previous methods of assuming 0 volt, right? We cannot use that. So in this case, what we have to do is we have to use Kirchhoff's law. So for to solve some complex circuits, Kirchhoff's given two laws. So let us see one by one. So first law is known as junction law or node law, we can say. Second one is called as nodal analysis principle. So at junction law, what happens is, for first law, at junction nodal or junction law, so incoming current that will be equals to outgoing current, because at junction there is no accumulation of charge. So whatever charge that comes towards the junction, same amount of charge will be leaving also, right? For given time interval. So we can say that total incoming current that will be equals to total outgoing current. So in this circuit, if you see incoming current towards node is how much? I1 and I2, current is moving towards node. So I1 plus I2, that should be equals to I3, right? Net current at junction should be equals to 0. So we can add all the currents. We can consider incoming as positive, outgoing as negative. So I1 plus I2 plus I3, that is equals to how much? 0, right? That is called as Kirchhoff's current law or Kirchhoff's junction law. Okay, simple. So at junction, we can say that I1 plus I2 equals to I3, or charge is Q1 plus Q2, that is charge coming per second towards the junction, equals to Q3. So sum of the charge entering the node, that will be equals to sum of the charge leaving the nodes, right? So can I say that this Kirchhoff's first law, it is based on the conservation of charge? Yes or no? Very simple. So they have asked 2-3 times that Kirchhoff's current law, that is based on which principle? Conservation of energy, conservation of mass, conservation of charge, and so on. They will give options. So it is based on conservation of charge, right? Now, let us move forward. Let us solve one question, the previous one which we had left earlier. So here now what we have is find the current in each branch of the circuit. Hence, when we convert, this diagram was very nice. Now it happened like this. Okay. So now let us say this point is having X potential. This point we consider as 0 volt. So this point will also be 0 volt. This point will also be how much? 0 volt. So when we cross this battery, so this point will be how much? -8. This point will be how much? 2 volt. And here now X be considered. So this will be how much? X minus 4. Yes or no? Now, our assumption is the point which was having unknown potential, we consider that potential of X is maximum out of these. So we can say current I1, I2, I3 all will flow from X towards the different branches. Yes or no? So if I want to write I1, can I say that I1 will be potential drop across this resistor is how much? X and here it is -8. So we can write it as how much? X minus of -8, so X plus 8 divided by 2, right? Similarly, we can write I2. I2 will be how much? Now potential is X and here it is 2. So we can write X minus 2 divided by how much? 2. Similarly, we can write I3. So that will be equals to how much? X and X minus 4. So we can write X minus 4 divided by resistance is how much? 2. Sorry. Here we have to consider across resistor only. No? So across resistor, how much is potential drop? So it was 0 here and sorry X minus 4 here and 0 here. So potential drop is how much? X minus 4 divided by 2. So we can write now Kirchhoff's first law, that is I1 plus I2 plus I3, that is equal to how much? 0. So we can write X by 8, 2 is common in all the terms, so we can just remove it, right? So we have X plus 8 plus X minus 2 plus X minus 4, that is equal to 0, right? So now X. So we have 3X, that will be equals to 6 and 8, so it will be how much? -2. So from here we have X, that is equals to -2 by 3 volt, right? So now just put the value of X in these expressions and then we can find I1, I2 and I3, right? So let us simplify. So when you put the value of X, that is -2 by 3. So we have I1, that is 11 by 3 ampere. I2 is -4 by 3. Minus sign indicates that current's direction of flow of current will be opposite, right? Similarly, I3 that will be minus 7 by 3 ampere. Simple. So first law is very simple, very easy, right? Now second law, that is called as Kirchhoff's voltage law, or this is also called as loop law. So in this case, Kirchhoff's voltage law, KVL or loop law, it says that in a closed loop, the algebraic sum of all the potential difference across the components and EMFs of the sources is always zero. Means if we move throughout all the sources, let us say potential drop across this one is V1, across this component is V2, across this component is V3, across this component is V4, across this component is V5. So if we add all of them, V1 plus V2 plus V3 plus V4 plus V5, so that will be equals to 0. This is what it is saying. So in a closed loop, algebraic sum of the potential difference across all the components and EMF of the source is always 0. So we can write, or see, suppose this is point A, or let us say this point they have taken. So from here now, if I start moving and I return back to the same point, so net potential difference will be how much? 0 only in closed loop, right? So VA, now if we cross this resistor, so it will be minus IR1. Now we are crossing this cell from negative towards positive, so plus E1. Now we are crossing the resistor, so minus IR2. Now cell we are crossing from positive towards negative, so minus E3. Now we are crossing resistor from positive towards negative, so minus IR3, that will be equals to VA. Now see here, when we cross the cell from positive terminal towards negative terminal, if we move like this, so delta will be what? Negative minus V. If we move like this, so delta V will be how much? Plus V. If we cross the resistor, suppose if we cross the resistor in the direction of flow of current, like suppose this is resistor, and if current is flowing in this direction, if we cross in the same direction, so current is flowing from higher towards lower potential, right? So in this case, delta V will be equals to minus IR, right? Potential will drop. If we cross in opposite direction, so delta V will be equals to how much? IR. This was lower potential, this is higher potential, so delta V will be positive. In this case, it will be negative. Simple. So we will keep in mind. So now we can simplify. So VA is VA we can cancel. So now we have E1 minus IR1 plus minus E2 minus IR2 minus IR3, that is equals to 0. Now it is based on what? So it is based on the conservation of energy. Simple. So let us solve one question. Question is means we are learning how to move in a branch of circuit. So in this case, we have taken one simple example. So example is, this is Z. It happens when we convert. So this is 2 ohm, 2 ampere. This is Y. This is again 2 ohm, and this is 3 ohm. So here now, we are moving from B towards A. See here, if I want to write potential at X, can I say that potential at X, or X, that will be equals to, from B we started, we have crossed one resistor having 2 ohm. Current flowing is how much? 2 ampere. So can I say it will be equals to VB minus 2 to the 4, right? Now if I want to write Y, so here we have 4. Now we are crossing the battery in opposite direction. So can I say that Y will be equals to how much? Y will be equals to this value X minus 10. Yes or no? So that is X is how much? VB minus 4 minus 10. Yes or no? Similarly, if I want to write Z, so let us start from B. So when we cross this, so it will be, first of all, VB. Now we are crossing this, so minus 4. We are crossing cell, so minus 10. And then again we are crossing this resistance, so minus 4. Yes or no? Similarly, if I want to write for M, for this point, so can I say that for M, so first VB, now we cross resistance, so minus 4, battery from plus to minus, so minus 10. then again resistor, so minus 4, again battery from minus to plus, so it will be plus 4. Like this we can write. Hope it is clear to everyone. So if I want to write VA, so VA will be equals to VB minus 4 minus 10 minus 4 plus 4 and so on. So we can simplify, right? Now, next let us solve one whole question and all of you have to answer. So question is, the potential difference VA minus VB between 2 points A and B in the given diagram is how much? So A and B is given, and this is 2 ampere, this is 1 ampere, this is 3 volt, right? So find VA minus VB. So pause the screen and try to write by yourself. So here now if I move from A to B, can I say that VA, now we are crossing this resistance, so 2 into 2 IR, so minus 4. Now we are crossing battery from plus to minus, so minus 3. Now again resistor, so minus 2, that is equals to VB. So we can move VB on right side, we have to find VA minus VB. So we can write VA minus VB, that will be equals to how much? 437 to 9, so 9 volt. So answer will be what? B. Simple, easy, right? Yes or no? So in this case, we can simplify, and VA minus VB, that will be equals to how much? 9 volt. So hope it is clear to all of you. So this is all from today's video. In next video, we will continue, and thank you to all of you. Bye bye. Take care.